Hi ghosties, this is Meg Ghosty. I can't really edit my videos because I'm low storage, so I end up not blasting, putting some music on, and it's called Immortal, which is a Nightcore version. Anywho, let's talk about the recent events in Japanese server. So many of you is gonna say, "Oh, it's gonna come to us next," and I'm like, you could be right. I don't want it to come next. I really don't. Yeah, I was actually talking about how Love Nikki and CN server don't have extreme Halloween suits because they're mostly adorable witches and hot vampires, and I just find it so annoying. But with Japanese server, with kicking in with the game, I mean, come on, Japanese server. So Japanese server has recently made Hellish Bloom, which is kind of horrific. And then they made 2 suits in for Halloween. Like, yes, but the thing is, they could be very, very, very expensive. That's the down point. They look good, they do, but the outcome would definitely be expensive because Japanese server has that momentum in them. They love to be very challenging. But anyway, besides the point, I really, really, really love her body. I mean, have you guys noticed that her whole body is transparent with skeleton details on them? Like, whoever designed this, thank you. I could literally make Emily from Corpse Bride, and that's one of my all-time favorites movie from Tim Burton. I love the story, the beautiful music, how it put a tear in my eye every time Emily talks about her passing and how she was in love with her groom. But her groom, and well, I'm not going to say any spoilers unless you watched it yourself. It's an old movie, by the way. It came out in like early 2000s. So she's a bride, Corpse Bride, guys. So I don't know if Love Nikki would say Corpse Bride for this name, and if they're gonna do it, I'd be like, yo. So we're gonna go with that, eh? But yes, I could literally make Emily. Out of this wedding dress that is ripped and scorched. I think her groom or herself or being in a car accident has scorched them both. I'm hearing footsteps. So I think she comes with floating ornaments like candle lights. I really love the outcome of this, and it screams my character, to be honest. My character's a ghostie herself, so I could literally use her body for Meg Ghosty. I say that Meg Ghosty is not really me. She's a character I made up with my name in it, but she's not really me. I love her choker, with the lock and stuff. She's crying blood. She's crying blood, but then she's smiling. I really like that. It's weird and it doesn't make any sense as to why she's crying and smiling, but I really like that, to be honest. And also her veil is really flipping long too, and I love seeing this area of her, because we get to see her spine, her ribs all the way up, and overall it just helps with how the body on the inside will look. Alright, so her face isn't transparent, which is good because I think many people want to see makeup other than what's inside our faces. Body wise, no one actually cares, but I kind of do because I want to see transparent because I want my ghostie to look like an actual ghost other than a human. I see blood on the sleeve, which I really love how Japanese server doesn't care about how sensitive people can be when they could simply ignore it. Oh shoot. So Hellish Bloom is actually one of my favorites suits. She's literally hitting number 1 favorite because so many items I could use from her and I would not stop using. So this could be one of those. She could literally be my first or favorite second suit when I complete it, and I would definitely complete them. I would complete both of these suits. In my opinion, from her to her, she's simple looking and basic, so she could be the first suit in the nodes This one, however, comes with multiple different things. She comes with an extreme pose and she comes with ornaments. Let's just talk about her in close-up. She has a massive freaking rack to begin with. She reminds me of Mad Hatter or Undertaker from Black Butler, but more of a Mad Hatter's kind of like side, because she comes with clocks, ribbons, crosses, tears, and she looks very funky. The thing is, I don't really care what she looks like. I'm literally adored by this look, and I love that it has stitches around her mouth, and her eyes are completely different like design, because it's not your typical pupil shine here and there, highlights, shading. It has a spiral. And to be honest, I really love this suit. And that she comes with, I'm gonna say that she comes with a Pikachu ghosty. Even though you gotta say, oh, it doesn't look like a Pikachu though, the ears aren't really long. The thing is, I don't really give a damn, but the face outcome, like, you know, from this area and it goes in like boom, I'm gonna call him Pikachu. Alright? I'm going there. I don't care if you're gonna come up with a bloody argument, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna call it Pikachu Ghosty. Her pose is very different, but then again, I actually saw that pose before. And what from? Oh yeah, Cien Witchy, when she's sat, I don't know, she's all over the flipping Love Nikki Amino, but she has a similar pose to this one. And I like the fact that they're adding more ghosts and transparent things into their game, just because it's really needed. It is. And I like that they're not horrific. Well, they are kind of like horrific in a Love Nikki kind of like manner. If you think about it, they don't want to go too extreme just to get things changing. Like our fairy, R.I.P. the fairy. You may be peaced. Anyway, so she is decaying, because if you look here, she's got a sock and the rest of shoes. And then the rest of her legs are decaying, so she could be Frankenstein. I think she is, you know. Is she Frankenstein? She could be Frankenstein, because she's got stitches on her legs. See? But I'm going to call her Mad Hatter nonetheless. And I think she comes with tops and bottom, because the top is disconnected from the bottom, and this part of an item here is like a tail ornament or a waist ornament, but it's possibly going to be a tail ornament. She comes with a doll, which reminds me of Stitch. Stitch from Ghost Gathering, guys. So she comes with a choker with a tie. Her makeup is very unique. Hair, I like the hair though. It reminds me of a crazy wolf, which I could use for a wolf theme. Because it just, look at the design though. I mean, it's really nice. There is no dislikes in her. I mean, I'm gonna be very like biased at this point because I love horrific things, and I think Halloween theme just screams my name. Ooh. Just screams my name, sorry. I'm into like horror movies, horrific characters. I like creating horrific characters. I like creating my OC as a undead being or a ghost, anything like that. And I'm most likely not gonna leave that alone, because I think being in a horror genre lover, it screams my interests. This one is to the extreme, because the body, every part of her is a skeleton besides her face, which has blood on it, so every part of her is horrific. I'm not saying that as an ugly, I mean horrific as in she was supposed to be. Japanese server is way ahead of us. They're literally just kicking in the horrific designs, blood, things like that. Cien server is such a respectful server, and they don't want things possibly like this into their server because they don't want to trigger people. But then again, if they don't have them, then please don't change them if you do, because with Hellish Bloom, she's supposed to be like that. I don't know, I'm just saying it because I'm so biased about her, but I admit to that though, because I don't want to be biased towards humans, but if it's going to be my favorite thing, like a design, then I'm going to be biased about that. I would just suggest people do not change her or change her because she's got a bit of blood on her face and her sleeves or gloves. Which you shouldn't be triggered to artistic blood because it's not really moving and it's not real. So I just don't understand why people get so triggered over cartoons or anime characters. It's just not really realistic to me, and it should not be realistic to anyone. So if people do not complain about having her to have blood on her, then I think you should simply ignore it rather than just making a massive problem out of it. Alright, so I don't think these suits would be next. I could be wrong like last time, so I admit to being wrong. But I end up thinking that she could be next, and she's a suit from Chinese server. She's basic as fudge, and I love her horns, wings, and tail. She comes with a very skinny tail, which you could see here. I like her suit, but I don't really dig her coat because it's like literally outside. I don't like that it has flowers on it because the rest of her doesn't. So I'm not really a huge fan of her coat, but I love her hair. I love everything else besides the coat, of course. I like her wings though. I mean, they're not like typically neat and things like that. I mean, they got torn, they got bones showing. Things like that. The makeup doesn't come. She's using Demon Huntress's makeup. So you could say she's basic as hell, which she is. I admit to that. She's basic, but to the point that she does have some creature items on her, so that we could use to make our own creations. So I'm not gonna completely hate this suit, and she is a stamina offense suit, by the way. So I think for the most like common that these two would also be stamina related suits, and you'd be like, oh, another one. I mean, hopefully they don't come to our server immediately like Hellish Bloom, Yokai World. I think if they should give us a chance to reboot our stamina, then yeah, cool. Just give us like a moment, a few days moment to just regain, even though we do have a hell event and we could get a lot of stamina points from that. But then again, if you're really broke from participating in Yokai World, then it's going to be very difficult because you don't have enough diamonds to actually spend on a hell event. And plus, if you don't have enough stamina in general, then you're screwed with diamonds because you blew them all on events. So I was thinking maybe I should not spend my diamonds on another wedding dress. Maybe I should save up, and that's what I'm doing because I want these suits more than participating in a hell event and wedding event. Even though I already got the Gothic Bride done on day one. But yeah, I'm so gonna brag about these, and when they come to our server, when they will come, because I don't want them to come a week soon. That's gonna be it from me, guys. Have a nice life.